Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a very busy Gatwick Airport, and also check it out. We've got merch samples. I'm currently approving the samples. We've got more stuff coming. We've got hoodies, we've got t-shirts, we've got baseball caps, all that stuff. They'll be here in the coming days. I'm going to check out the quality, make sure that I'm happy for it to go on sale, and then you'll be able to get your hands on it, hopefully, in time for Christmas. So what are we doing today? We are taking our updated PMDG 737 down to Dubrovnik. We're going to Dubrovnik by iniBuilds. Thanks to iniBuilds for helping us out with the scenery for this video. So one of the main things I wanted to check out today with the PMDG, obviously it's had a lot of updates across the board in terms of like ground handling, making it feel more realistic. Lots of little tweaks across the whole board. The main thing I want to talk about is the auto cruise feature. Now, we saw this with the 777 as a way for people to do long haul flights in a short period of time. So what it does, it dynamically adjusts the sim rate such that if you're, say, coming up to a turn, it will slow the sim rate down so the plane doesn't overshoot the turn. Then it will speed you back up to maybe 4x or 8x once you get back on the straight. So really, you could get across the Atlantic in maybe an hour if sitting there for, 6, 7, 8 hours isn't your cup of tea. It certainly isn't mine. Even if it were, I don't have the time. What they've done, though, is they've kind of backported that technology to the 737. So it's difficult because we fly around Europe a lot, but actually even just going around Europe in a 737, you can sometimes end up with a 3-4 hour cruise. And as a result, I quite often think, oh, well, I won't go there then. But now, thanks to Auto Cruise, we can. So we're going to go down to Dubrovnik, which is on the longer side of what I would consider an acceptable cruise. And we're going to test out Auto Cruise along the way to see how it goes. As for how that works with VATSIM, obviously you don't really want to be in controlled airspace and then turn your sim rate to like 8x or 4x via the auto cruise feature. My plan today is, what do we got online at the moment? We've got ground, we've got tower, we've got director, and we've got London control. So we're pretty well stacked here at Gatwick in terms of control. But once we kind of get over France, there's nothing on. So at which point, once we get handed off to Unicom, I'm going to disconnect from the VATSIM network, activate the auto cruise system. That'll get us down to Dubrovnik in a nice speedy amount of time. Then once we get to our top of descent, and you can tell the plane to pause at top of descent if you're worried about overshooting, we can then reconnect to the network, do our descent, do our approach, just like normal, basically cutting out that big long cruise time. Some of you love it, that's fair enough, but I know for a fact a lot of you don't love it, and it's really nice to have that in the 737 now. So let's get in, let's get fired up and get ourselves down to Dubrovnik. Okay, first things first, we need to check out the ATIS here at Gatwick and see what's going on. So we're going to tune our radio to 136.525, switch it over from standby to active.
Runway 08 right, ILS approach to be expected, transition level 70, wind 350 at 05, wind variable between 320 and 090, visibility 7 kilometers, ceiling 2700 overcast, temperature 14. Dew point 11, QNH 1027, acknowledge receipt of information echo and advise aircraft type on first contact.
Good, that'll do. So 08 right is in use, transition level 70, QNH is 1027, so let's get that set now, 1027, and we've got information echo. So when we get our clearance to Dubrovnik very shortly, we will say that we've got information echo on board. So we've got ground, we've got tower, we've got director for Gatwick, and we've got London control. So we're going to go for ground to get our clearance, and ground are on 121805. Gatwick ground, good morning, Air 232, stand 560, aircraft type 737, 800 information, echo on board, looking for clearance to Dubrovnik.
Air 232, Gatwick ground, good morning. Are you able to accept the Oddvik to Zulu departure?
Roger, yes we are, Air 232.
Air 232, thank you. You are cleared to Dubrovnik. Oddvik to Zulu departure, routing Oddvik, Yankee 311 to Dover, then as filed, squawk 3212.
Cleared to Dubrovnik on the Oddvik to Zulu departure, then to Dover as filed, squawk 3212.
Air 232, read back correct.
Okay, so our flight plan is slightly different. We are doing the Oddvik to Zulu departure, and after Oddvik we're going direct to Dover, which is different to what we had planned, but that's okay, we'll roll with it. And actually that's a bit of a shortcut from our point of view as well, so no complaints there. Okay, let's load in our perf init request data, execute that, that's fine. We've done our performance calculations based on the runway, based on the plane, based on the weather, and this is the information. We're doing a flaps 5 takeoff, select temp of 51 with a rating of TO. Then we got a V1 of 141, 143 VR and 147 V2. So let's go to our N1 limit. 51 I've already put in, TO is selected. And we've got 141, 143, 148, which is 1 knot off on V2. I wonder why that is. Quite often the systems will agree completely. Sometimes they're off by 1 or 2 knots. Wonder why that is. I've often wondered. Let me know in the comments if you know. Let's put the V2 speed up here, 147. And the runway heading is 077. Now we're on the Oddvik 2 Zulu departure. So if we just have a quick look at the charts, we've got a maximum altitude of 6,000. So we'll put 6,000 in the window for Oddvik. Then we will be probably being told what to do by London Control in any event, so no big deal. Let's put the course of 077 in as well, just in case we need to return, because we will obviously need to return on 08 right as well. ILS of 110.9 for 08 right, again, just in case we have a bit of a problem and we need to come back, so that's fine, that's all in. Just saves us a little bit of time in the event of a problem. And that is mostly it. We've got the plane, we've got the route in, we've got our perf init data done, we've got our takeoff data done, the panel up here is all set. So I'm going to go ahead and do some final preparations, then we will get the show on the road, we'll get taxied or pushed and started, and then taxied and hopefully get our way onto Dubrovnik. Okay, everything's going well. We are in a position now where we're getting ready for push and start, so we'll get GSX on the case. Okay, let's see if we can get our push and start. I'm hearing there might be delays. It is quite busy this morning. Gatwick ground air not 232, stand 560. Appreciate there might be a delay. We're ready for push and start.
Air not 232, no problem. Stand 560. Your push and start is approved, facing south.
Face south, push and start approved. Air not 232. All right, here we go. So let's go up and get engine 2 into ground. And we'll keep an eye on this N2 figure down here. Hopefully that's going to start rising if I've sorted out the packs properly. I think I have. Yes, I have. Good times. We'll let that get to sort of 20-25% N2. Then we will introduce some fuel. In fact, let's switch to yoke cam. Now you can see what I'm doing. There we go. Happy days. Oh, yes, New Sky. We would like to start the flight. If any of you want to join our virtual airline on New Sky, just get yourself a New Sky account. And you're more than welcome to join us.
Tango, take the next left onto Golf, and then 26 right to Juliet. Alpine 2212, correct, contact direct at 126.825, bye-bye.
And N2 of engine 1 is ready to add fuel. Let's do flaps 5. Good, right, we've got some further setting up to do now, so we can arm our flight directors, or turn them on rather, arm LNAV, arm VNAV, arm the auto throttle, projected takeoff is set, flaps 5 is set. Good, everything's looking good. Let's get our taxi instructions. It's quite busy here today. Sounds like we might get sent down 26 right, listening to other people's taxi instructions, but we'll see what happens. Gatwick ground air not 232, pushback at 560, ready for taxi.
Air not 232, taxi on in Juliet 4, runway 08 right, via Quebec Alpha, Sierra and Juliet.
Juliet 408 right, via Quebec Alpha, Sierra and Juliet, Air not 232.
Air not 232, correct, and it's Quebec Alpha, Lima, Sierra, Juliet for Juliet 4.
Quebec Alpha, Lima, Sierra, Juliet for Juliet 4, not 232. I didn't hear the Lima there. Maybe I was just going a bit deaf. Be interesting to listen back to the recording, see if I was wrong on that. Let's go. So basically the plan is we're going straight down here, making a right, following it down to the end, making a left onto Sierra, although it's not really a left because if we'd carried straight on we'd go into the stands. Then we make a further right onto Juliet and go all the way down to Juliet 4, which is kind of on the corner there, just at the end of 08 left. So let's get down there, shall we? Parking brakes off. Nice busy Gatwick this morning. This is what we like. Kind of makes you feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. Okay, so this is the end of Lima. And our only choice is to go left onto Sierra. I really, really like the Tobii eye tracker for situations like this on the ground. And once you're on your straight and you're all settled, you can turn it off. 90% of my usage of the eye tracker is on the ground, but it's like, you might think, well, why bother if it's just on the ground? But it's so useful for the ground, it really is. Like here, we're going to have to check left, we're going to have to check right. I know we're under ATC and they should know where we are, they should know where everyone is, but ultimately, we're still responsible for our own actions, so... Again, eye tracker on. You can see my FPS struggling to keep up here at Gatwick when you do the sort of movements with your eyes. Okay, right is clear. Left is clear. Let's go. I really hope FS24 sorts out the FPS issues. It definitely feels like the current sim is being pushed to within an inch of its life with all of the add-ons that we have going. So fingers crossed. We see some improvements there with the multi-threading and what have you. Alright, this is us on Juliet, so it's basically straight down the end where that... I don't know what that is that an A330? Whatever that big white plane is, that's where we're heading. That's basically where Juliet 4 is. See you later, Easy. Beautiful. What timing.
Airlock 232, contact out with Director 126.825.
Director 126.825, thanks for service, Airlock 232. Gatwick Director, Airlock 232 on Juliet for Juliet 4.
Airlock 232, Gatwick Director, hold Juliet 1.
Hold Juliet 1, Airlock 232. Good. Let's push this up a little bit.
Airlock 232 via Juliet 1, line up runway 08 right.
Via Juliet 1, line up on weight 08 right, Airlock 232. Beautiful. Now let's start the clock. I always forget to start the clock. Not today. Okay, turn off the eye tracker now, we're on the straight. And we will sit here for a mo.
Airlock 232, runway 08 right, surface wind 08 degrees 3 knots, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 08 right, Airlock 232. Alright, hold it on the brakes. Bring the engines up, let them stabilise.
Easy 56 November Foxtrot, Gatwick Director, taxi Romeo, Juliet, hold short golf.
Romeo Juliet, hold short golf,
set.
56 November Foxtrot.
Bit of forward yoke pressure.
Ever 3 Bravo, line up runway 08 right.
Line up 08 right, Ever 3 Bravo.
Lufthansa Fogo Hotel, Lufthansa Fogo Hotel, stands, correction, Gatwick Director, stands 567, push and start, approved.
Approved, Lufthansa Fogo Hotel.
Gear up. That was a bit of a slow rotation there on my part. Okay, there's the acceleration height. Let's just pitch the nose down. Now we can get past our clean speeds, get our flaps retracted.
Airlock 232, contact London Control, 129er decimal 430.
129.430, Airlock 232. London Control, good morning, Airlock 232, 4,000 feet.
Airlock 232 London, hello. Climb now, flight level 170.
Flight level 170, Airlock 232. Ideal. Getting us up nice and high, nice and fast, that's what I like. Alright, there we go. So far so good. Let's have a quick look at the VATSIM radar map. Yeah, so we've got London Control south on, and we're heading out to Dover, so we're going to be out of their airspace quite quickly. Then we can check out the auto cruise feature of the PMDG. Alrighty, 10,000 feet coming up. Let's get lights off. And set the passengers out, shall we?
Air Knot 309, Papa Climb File 350.
Was that Air Knot 232 you were just calling?
No, I did say Air Knot, I didn't even mean Air Knot, sorry. Euro Atlantic 709, Papa Climb File 350. But Air Knot 232, as you're here, Climb File 350 as well.
The 350, Air Knot 232, thanks.
Need some more coffee, mate.
Delivering some coffee, just one word for you now if you want.
Thank you, sir. Flat white.
Hey. This is a good opportunity for a plug. Thanks to London Control for reminding me. Air Knot coffee mugs coming soon to an online store near you. Like and subscribe. Perfect. Look at us go. I love this plane. Absolutely adore this plane. Can't wait for the freighter, 777 freighter, man. That's going to be so cool. Like, the thing with the 777 is that very, very long routes aren't really my thing. Although with a freighter, you've kind of got a bit of like poetic license to go wherever you want. Like, cargo kind of goes where it needs to go. You don't necessarily have to be bound by, do several hundred passengers need to go from point A to point B. Like, cargo could go, I don't know, from like East Midlands to Hamburg. It could, you know, these nice little short routes that give you kind of permission to fly these huge airliners on much shorter, more palatable routes. But equally, if you want to fly the longer stuff, we do have autocruise, which is kind of what we're going to be checking out in a minute.
Air Knot 232, Paris is offline, continue on Unicorn 1228, bye-bye.
Unicorn 1228, thanks for service, Air Knot 232.
Cheers. Scandinavian 8039, Brussels is offline, continue on Unicorn 1228, bye-bye.
Great service, thanks very much.
Hey, right, we're on Unicom now. So, let me just bring over this browser tab that I've got on my other monitor. Where are we? Here we go. So, here... God damn it. Right, here we go. Here's us. We've just entered, obviously, Unicom airspace. There's nothing online all the way down to Dubrovnik, which is... Where is it? It's down here, isn't it? There we go. So we could sit here for the next 2 hours doing precisely nothing, or we could get to the exciting bit and make use of PMDG's new auto cruise feature, where it will adjust the sim rate and whiz us down across Europe. And if there are any turns or anything where the sim rate might be too quick for the plane, because if the sim rate's say 8x and you've got a turn, the plane might struggle to kind of keep up, so it might overshoot a turn, then you sort of weave in to try and get back on course. That's what auto cruise does. That's kind of the secret sauce that PMDG have added, as opposed to literally just, you know, making the sim rate faster, because you could do that with any plane, but the auto cruise is PMDG technology, and it dynamically adjusts the sim rate based on flying conditions, which is really nice. So what we shall do, what our flow will be, we will disconnect from the VATSIM network, because although technically you're kind of allowed to do it in uncontrolled airspace, I don't think it's good form. I started a bit of an argument on the VATSIM forums, because I asked when the 777 came out, I said, look, it's long haul's far too far for me to go. I don't even have the time. Even if I wanted to do long haul, it's just out of the question. So I said, how would this work? You get your clearance, you do your taxi, you do your departure, presumably under ATC control. Then once you get to Unicom, or maybe before, you disconnect, engage auto cruise for the cruise. Then when you come to top of descent, join VATSIM again, obviously making sure you're not going to cause a problem in case you kind of spawn on top of somebody, and then fly your descent as normal under VATSIM control again, having essentially cut out the cruise thanks to auto cruise. And they said, yeah, that's fine. So that's what we're going to do today. Some people said, well, actually you could stay connected to VATSIM if you're in uncontrolled airspace, but again, doesn't seem like good form to me. So we're going to disconnect from VATSIM and give it a whirl. So disconnected from VATSIM now. Now, over here, you'll notice on the EFB, it has changed. So we've got auto cruise up the top here. If we click on it, we can tell it to pause at top of descent. We're going to be present here, kind of, you know, I mean, I'm not going to leave it for hours, so I'm not going to get it to pause at top of descent. If you do tell it to pause at top of descent, make sure that you've got a keybind to unpause it, otherwise you might find yourself stuck. So the one we're going to focus on is auto time compression. That's essentially the toggle switch that does the auto cruise for us. You can do maximum time compression. You can do up to 16x. I wouldn't recommend that. I tried it with the 777 at 8x and it was fine, but I'm on a fairly beefy PC. You might find if your system's a bit more on the modest side, you want to go to 4x. We've got about a 2-hour cruise, so I think 4x is actually quite sensible, because that's like a 30-minute cruise. That's quite doable. So yeah, we'll stick with up to 4x. We'll turn on auto time compression, watch the sim rate down here. It's currently on 1x. Hopefully, there you go, PMDG's gone to 2x. Now it's gone to 4x. And if we look out the window, you see we are whizzing along. And that's that. All we need to do now is keep an eye on the top of descent and make sure we disable the auto cruise simply by toggling the auto time compression back to off. Then we're back to 1x. Then we can think about reconnecting to VATSIM. And it cuts out an awful long time of sat here twiddling your thumbs. So I think that's pretty cool. Right, I will leave you with some views and we will catch up on the descent into Dubrovnik. Alrighty, folks, we are getting to the point now where we're nearly at the top of descent. What are we at? 27 miles to top of descent. We are running at 4x sim rate, so that's going to come up upon us really, really quick. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And when the time is right, in just a few moments, we'll turn off the auto time compression, which will then put us back into real time. But yeah, this cruise has been done and dusted inside of half an hour, which is really cool. So if you want to get to places that are a little bit further away, I know a little while ago we flew to Rhodes, or sorry, we flew back from Rhodes to Gatwick in real time, and it took forever. But this feature here allows you to go to further away places, still within Europe, in a much shorter time frame. So I'm all for it. So let's turn off the automatic time compression, and now you can see the sim rate has gone back to 1x. Really nice feature. Really nice feature. So 7 miles away from top of descent. There is nothing online in terms of ATC. So let's pop in our arrival into Dubrovnik. We're going to be using runway, let me check, I think it is runway 29. There we go. So we'll do the RNAV into runway 29 using the NERA 1 Yankee arrival, transitioning at Alegu. We'll pop that in. And you can see now we are going to be trying to get down to 2,500 feet before we head on into the runway. So, given that we're on Unicom, I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to put in 2,500 feet and let VNAV do all the work, because we love a little bit of laziness on this channel. Now, we are also, of course, still disconnected from VATSIM, so I've checked where we are, I've checked who's around, and there is basically nothing that we're going to interfere with, so I'm going to go ahead and reconnect us to the VATSIM network. Therefore, if anything does come online, it's not going to be, in terms of ATC, they'll just see us, and it's like we were, you know, spent the whole time in cruise connected to VATSIM. So we're now reconnected again, no harm done, and we've managed to skip out a nice cruise. So, any second now, we should, yeah, here we go. Cruise is now, top of descent, sorry, is now under 10 miles away. So, yeah, I would recommend it. I really would recommend it. If you want to go further afield, in my mind, the ideal cruise time is around about an hour. That kind of gives you, you know, some time to do your departure. Then you have a bit of time in cruise, especially if we're live streaming. We can have a chat for an hour. That's nice. But then if you, there's something about, like, you know, hitting autopilot and knowing that you've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours ahead of you in cruise. That is, I find that quite a hard pill to swallow, personally. Your mileage may vary. If you enjoy it, good for you. I'm not telling you you're doing it wrong. It's your sim. Do it how you want. Don't let anyone else tell you how to do things on your sim. But for me, I quite like this. So I'm a big fan, and it's nice to see it. I thought when it came to the 777, it was a great idea, and seeing it being backported now to the 73 is music to my ears. So top of descent coming up, and then we will make our way down into Dubrovnik. Thanks again to iniBuilds for hooking us up with the scenery for this video. Really nice so far working with iniBuilds. They seem like really good people. They've been totally chill about it. They gave me Thrustmaster vibes, to be honest. They were just really chill, just like, yeah, here's the thing, check it out, let us know what you think. So really good stuff. Looking forward to checking out the airport once we get there. And there we go. We are now descending into Dubrovnik. So given that there's nothing really online, we're just going to descend our way down nice and gradually. I will catch up with you all once we get onto the final approach into Dubrovnik. So you can see here our route into Dubrovnik. We're going to make a right turn here at Nera, then we'll follow the waypoints in, make a left, make a right, then we'll do a U-turn onto runway 29 following the RNAV arrival. Beautiful, look at that. See, I don't mind being at 1X for this bit because there's kind of stuff going on, we're busy, we're getting to see some nice scenery, but that big old cruise, that's a nice bit to cut out. I know some of you might feel like it's cheating, and maybe it is, but I don't know. I do find it a hard one to reconcile in my mind that it's somehow better to sit there doing nothing for 4 hours. Maybe if I had other stuff to do and I could leave it at 1X, but then if you got nothing, if you're doing other stuff anyway, you're not paying the sim any attention, therefore what's the point? I don't know. It's complicated. Let me know in the comments what you think about it all. So we should have a decel point coming up soon. Yeah, that green dot there. So that's probably where we're going to start decelling down so that we're at 250 knots for 10,000 feet. Now, I don't know if we're going to feel it on this flight, but in the last couple of flights we've done on stream with the updated 737, it feels like the closer you get to the ground, you almost feel the plane start to rise up a little bit, almost like there's some kind of like ground effect going on. So I'm going to watch out for that today, make sure that we're keeping our nose sort of pointed firmly at that touchdown point, particularly as we get closer to the runway, sort of around between 200, 100 feet. I think we sort of felt it big time coming into Edinburgh yesterday when we were streaming with the plane. Now, we got really lucky with that one because I sort of super flared at the last minute. We got an 80 feet per minute touchdown rating, but had I not flared in the way that I did, which probably wasn't right, I think we would have been looking at a 500 or 600 feet per minute touchdown rate. So I'm going to be super conscious of that today, see if we can improve on that a little bit. And around we go. So let's go speed 180. Wow, look at that. Look at that. We'll go flaps 5. Gear down. And we need to be at 149 knots by the time we leave this turn. Okay, let's go speed 160. Possibly a little bit premature, but I don't want us to have an issue. Let's go flaps 15. Whoa, flipping heck. So I guess the plan is to kind of avoid this massive hill and scoot in around behind it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Beautiful. Now, what happens if I press approach mode? Go. Got some markers. It's always good. Okay, folks, so the more eagle-eyed amongst you might notice a couple of continuity issues here. That is because we are, in fact, doing a second attempt of our landing. Continue. Courtesy of FSI panel, they've put us out on a 4-mile final. Really nice tool to practice your landings. However, the reason why we're doing it is because, like a fool, I did not enable yoke cam on our first attempt. So, redoing it with FSI panel now with yoke cam enabled. Can't believe I forgot to do that. But also, happily, my original landing attempt was not the greatest, so it's actually quite nice to have an attempt at another go at it. I will now cut, of course, to that landing, not being one to hide behind an edit, so you can all have a giant laugh at my expense.
100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And you go. Whoa, that was a bit firm, wasn't it? Flippin' heck. Whoa! That was a bit tasty. Alright, come on now. Let's do it. Hold her steady.
300, 200, 100,
50.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
That'll do. Anything with the 2 in front of it will do. That was definitely better than the first time round, wasn't it? Anyway, much, much better. Now, back to the original VATSIM footage. Dubrovnik traffic, Air 232, clear of runway 29, Dubrovnik traffic. Let's get the lights off, engines out of continuous. APU start, keep it rolling. See you later, Eurowings. Don't think I heard any call out on Unicom for that one, but never mind. Look at that terminal. Lovely. Alright, let's go for stand 1-4, shall we? Look at those ground textures, they look awesome. Right. How's the parking going to be? I think about there. Parking brakes on. Taxi lights off. Let's take power from the APU. And we will call this one done. And now let's check out this airport. Right, there we are, folks. We made it to Dubrovnik, and look at this lovely terminal building. iniBuilds have done a cracking job with this, no doubt. We'll go and check out the terminal in a bit more detail in just a second. But yeah, really enjoyed that flight. I thought the auto cruise feature was very, very welcome indeed. I know some of you might not like it because you think it's cheating, but oh, nice interior model there of the terminal. Wow, look at the detail in here. Look at this. Look at that. Wow, they went to town on this one. This is really nice. It's too bad you can't really bring the plane round here and have a look, isn't it? Because there's so much stuff that looks so good, but from the other side of the building, you don't really get to see it so much. Wow, wow, wow. What's in here? We go upstairs? We go upstairs again? Whoa, there's a ton of stuff. Really nice building. Now again, I appreciate a lot of you aren't going to be flying around with the drone cam inside an airport, but it's really nice that they put the detail in. And what's more important is that when you're pulling up to the terminal building is that you can see through the window and you can actually see kind of real geometry inside rather than just having like a parallax texture plastered on the windows. Particularly at night when it's all lit up. I bet it looks fantastic at night. In fact, let's light it up at night. Let's come out a little bit and see what it's like. Let's roll the time back. Or forward, I should say. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Yeah, so you got decent lighting around all the apron area. Look at those lights. You imagine the power they use in real life. Like, I'd get worried about my power bill with the PC and the aircon unit on. You imagine like all of this. Yeah, really nice. What a fantastic airport in a fantastic location. It's like, it must be really hard choosing what to build scenery for as a developer, because it's like, yes, it's easy to make an airport look good, but also it's really kind of, it's another thing to put it in a really cool location. Perhaps an underserved location where the scenery is really, really awesome, like we just saw, but then perhaps the airport itself is, you know, the default ones don't quite live up to the scenery that surrounds it. So it's a really nice one to have this. Nice holiday destination. Thanks again to iniBuilds for letting us check this one out on the channel. Really do appreciate that. And yeah, the PMDG update has been very cool, particularly that auto cruise feature that we had got us over here in record time. Appreciate it's not everyone's cup of tea, but also I know a lot of you like to flight sim and you find the cruise A, perhaps a bit boring, and B, it just kind of takes too long and it means that you don't have time to do it. So the fact that they've backported the 777 auto cruise technology into the 737, very, very welcome news as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, folks, hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Let me know where you'd like to go next for more of these styles of videos. Until next time, though, take the very best care of yourselves. Enjoy today, because, of course, at the time of recording, it is October 31st, which you know what that means. It's A380 day, so hopefully we'll be live a little bit later on today on the channel to enjoy that, and with lots of other content to follow as well. So get subbed so you don't miss anything. Thanks very much indeed, folks. Take the best care of yourselves, and as always, happy flying.